Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are taking a massive investigative journey into a smartphone controversy that honestly cuts right to the heart of how information is shared right now. We are looking at a high-stakes battle over the truth. It's a situation exposed brilliantly by Mrwhosetheboss, where the fundamental rights of everyday consumers are colliding head-on with heavy-handed corporate gag orders. Let's dive right in, because the details of this case are absolutely wild.
So, jumping right to the center of all this, we really have to ask ourselves, what actually happens when a bad review becomes illegal? Just imagine it. You buy a highly anticipated new tech product, you test it out, you notice something is seriously, fundamentally wrong, and you share that with your audience. Standard stuff, right? But then, you're slapped with a sudden court order legally forcing you to take your review down. I mean, it sounds like something straight out of a dystopian novel, but it's a chilling, very real legal reality for several tech reviewers who literally just tried to test a brand new phone.
To understand exactly how we got here, we've got to meet the man at the center of the controversy. This is Mrwhoseth, the CEO of a newly launched tech company called AI+. He leaned super heavily into this fiercely patriotic marketing stance against foreign technology, and particularly Chinese tech. He publicly fired shots at his competitors, basically saying that claiming something is made in India is totally meaningless if the software and updates are secretly coming from abroad. This anti-foreign dominance platform, that was the entire bedrock of his brand new company.
Which brings us to Chapter 1, the Sovereign Smartphone Promise.
To really grasp the scale of the business opportunity here, you just need to think about one massive number: 700 million. India is the second largest smartphone market on Earth, with over 700 million active users. But currently, at least 2/3 of those phones are coming from Chinese brands, companies like Xiaomi and Vivo. So given the ongoing geopolitical tensions and border clashes, there is this massive, highly lucrative opening for a purely, authentically Indian smartphone. It makes sense. People naturally want to support their home economy.
And that brings us directly to the AI Plus pitch from their huge July 2025 launch. They came out promising a fully sovereign smartphone. They claimed it was expertly engineered and built right in India, that all user data would be securely locked down in Google Cloud India regions, and that the phone was so secure it was actually certified for government use. Oh, and they also promised a totally clean experience with zero bloatware out of the box. They even ran this highly aggressive, borderline xenophobic advertising campaign featuring a caricature of a Chinese man stealing an Indian man's data to take out a loan in his name. Their slogan was literally, "Chinese not safe, AI plus smartphone."
All right, Chapter 2, peeling back the hardware. Let's see what happens when reviewers started looking under the hood.
First off, we need to understand a really crucial industry term here: ODM, which stands for Original Design Manufacturer. See, unlike companies like Apple that design their own products totally from scratch and then just hire someone to physically build them, an ODM actually designs, builds, and entirely owns the rights to a product themselves. Other brands can then just browse a catalog, ask for a few slight visual tweaks, slap their own logo on the back, and sell it as their own. And the evidence heavily points to AI Plus utilizing cheap, low-tier Chinese ODMs rather than engineering anything themselves like they claimed. Their big marketing claim was this highly secure Next Quantum OS built in India. But the reality? When YouTuber Gyan Therapy booted up his brand new AI Plus phone, he found 3 pre-installed, completely undeletable apps. And when he investigated, it turned out these apps actually belonged to a China-based ODM called Scrocum Technologies. But wait, it gets worse. The privacy policy for these hidden apps explicitly states they automatically collect your personal information. So much for that promise of your data never leaving the country, right?
Now, if the software links to China were alarming, the hardware completely shattered the entire illusion. When reviewers compared the new AI Plus Nova flip phone to the Chinese-made ZTE Nubia Flip 2, they noticed the specs were completely identical. And digging into the actual software identifiers buried inside the AI Plus phone revealed that the Compass app, the AI engine, and the fingerprint service were all explicitly labeled as ZTE. It was practically a carbon copy of a Chinese device. The whole Made in India narrative was entirely destroyed.
And guys, it didn't stop at just the phones. AI Plus also launched a smartwatch with built-in earbuds called Wearbuds, claiming they designed and patented it in India. But if you look at the timeline, it tells a very, very different story. Years before AI Plus even existed as a company, these exact Wearbuds were already being sold by a Chinese company called AI Power. The CEO of AI Plus claimed he started co-developing them back in 2022, yet the Chinese company was publicly posting about their great cooperation as mere brand partners. AI Plus essentially just slapped their identical-looking logo onto a pre-existing Chinese product and called it a day.
Chapter 3, Gaslighting and Fake Reviews.
Let's talk about the cover-up.
Because honestly, when confronted with this massive mounting pile of evidence, the company's response was nothing short of extraordinary. When Mr. Who's the Boss directly confronted CEO Mrwhosetheboss, bringing the actual evidence of the Chinese apps right to him, the CEO completely doubled down. His exact quote was, "All the current devices which have been launched, they do not have any Chinese apps." He vehemently denied that the launch devices in India contained this software, waving it off by claiming it must have been some unauthorized or unreleased version the reviewers got.
But you see, that was a blatant misdirection. To test the CEO's bold claim, reviewers anonymously purchased brand new AI Plus phones direct from major Indian retailers like Flipkart and Amazon. And guess what? When booted up live on camera right there in India, they still contained the exact hidden Chinese Brockham apps the CEO literally just swore didn't exist. Reviewers were being directly gaslit about what was right in front of their eyes on standard retail devices.
And the deception totally bled into their marketing, too. Over on the official AI Plus website, every single phone had flawless 5-star reviews, but digging just a little deeper revealed some massive red flags. People were supposedly leaving 5-star reviews just to ask basic customer support questions. There were identical, bot-like comments just repeating the exact same generic phrases over and over. Their official terms and conditions page, it literally still had placeholder text that read, "Let me know if you'd also like a downloadable version for your Shopify website's policy page." It's unbelievable. And to top it off, despite their whole ad campaign fear-mongering about Chinese loans, their own privacy policy demanded that users consent to being contacted by credit bureaus for loans. You can't make this stuff up.
Chapter 4. Weaponizing the legal system. This is where things take a truly dark turn.
So, when honest reviewers naturally pointed out these glaring inconsistencies, AI Plus retaliated in an unprecedented way. They obtained something called an ex-parte injunction from the Delhi High Court. Now, what actually is that? Well, it's a court order granted after a judge hears from only one side of a dispute. Legal experts will tell you this is incredibly drastic. It's a mechanism historically meant for severe, urgent emergencies where there are real, immediate safety risks, like domestic violence cases. It is absolutely not meant to be used to instantly silence a tech review on YouTube.
So how did they manage to manipulate the system to get this gag order? They used a calculated playbook of legal loopholes. Step 1. They listed John Doe, so an unnamed person, as the primary defendant, which completely bypassed the need to formally warn anyone in advance. Step 2. To check the box of notifying the specific YouTubers they were targeting, they sent the legal notices to fake email addresses they knew the creators wouldn't ever check, even though they definitely had their real contact info. And step 3, by ensuring the YouTubers had no idea a hearing was even happening, AI Plus easily secured the takedown orders completely uncontested.
You might be wondering, why were the creators left so vulnerable to this? It really comes down to tricky jurisdictional differences. Under U.S. law, truth is generally an absolute defense against defamation. If you are telling the provable truth, you are largely protected. But under Indian law, the system is much more plaintiff-friendly. It's incredibly strict, to the point where even stating demonstrable truths can sometimes trigger a valid defamation claim. And that leaves independent creators totally at the mercy of multi-million-dollar corporate bullying.
Which brings us to our final act. Chapter 5, The Future of Consumer Rights.
Look, this case is about so much more than just a rebranded flip phone. When the targeted YouTubers eventually got their day in court to present their evidence, the truth about AI Plus's deceptive legal tricks came fully to light. And the Delhi High Court judge was absolutely not pleased. He stated right on the record, "Let nobody be under this impression that they can pull wool over our eyes." The judge demanded actual answers and specifically summoned CEO Mrwhosetheboss to appear in court. But tellingly, despite all his bold, confident claims to the tech reviewers, the CEO completely failed to show up for the hearing.
But here's the catch. The videos exposing AI Plus were still successfully suppressed during the absolute most crucial launch window for their new products, meaning their underhanded tactics, they largely worked. And that leaves us with a deeply concerning final thought in this whole battle over the truth. If multi-million-dollar companies can just exploit the legal system to gag the truth and silence honest reviews without any real consequence, who exactly protects the consumer? If reviewers are too terrified of massive lawsuits to simply tell you a product is misleading, how can any of us trust what we're buying? It is a chilling effect on digital rights that goes so far beyond just a single smartphone. Keep questioning things, keep digging for the truth, and thank you so much for joining me on this explainer.